Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Roy. I am a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's. Today I'm going to do a back to basics tutorial where I'm going to show you this time different ways of cutting an onion, just in case you don't know. And that way I don't have to take up time in my main videos showing these things. I can just refer you back to these little tutorials. I'm going to show you a couple of ways of cutting an onion, slicing, dicing, chopping. This, as you may know, is an onion. They obviously come in different types. There's the sweet onions like Vidalia, there's yellow, there's red, and each one has its own place. Typically, the Vidalia and the yellow, you can kind of interchange for the most part. Red is a little more difficult. Red is actually better when it's raw, but I mean, I have cooked with them, but they are typically eaten raw. So what I'm going to do is cut off the top part. This is the stem part. This little hairy part is the root, and this top part is the stem, because when it's growing underground, this is where the plant comes up from. So I'm going to cut that part off, so then I have a stable place to rest it, and I'm going to cut this in half. Now I didn't peel it beforehand, because now all you have to do is you get a little piece of onion here, the first outer skin, and just peel it away, and then gather it at the bottom and pull it off. For the recipe that I am prepping onions for, you need to slice them, and that is different than you may think. If you slice this way so that it's following the rounded arch, when you cook them, they're more likely to fall apart. So if you're going to cook them for a long time, what you want to do is cut them this way from the root to the stem. And I keep the root on there so that it's holding everything together. And then you're just going to slice down. You don't want to go all the way through like I just did, but if you do, it's not that big of a deal. You're just going to cut down, and you want to follow the curve of the onion. So you're always kind of trying to aim the knife towards the center of the onion. So here, I'll show you again on this side. See how I'm curving along with the onion, and when you get to the end, you'll have to hold on to the back. And then to get rid of the root, I just cut a little diagonal, and you can press them down, and there are some perfectly sliced onion. Now this is great for when you're caramelizing onions, because they cook for a long time. And this is the way you want to cook them. Like I said, if you cut them this way across the arch, that will allow them to fall apart more easily. So that's usually best if you're eating them on like a salad or in some cold dish like a chicken salad, you can do that. But typically, when you're slicing, you would want to go down around the onion. And like I said, you're always aiming your knife in toward the center as you go around. So it's like you're following a little diagonal. Again, cut off the end, press them down, and there you go. Now a chop is bigger than a dice, and a dice is bigger than a mince. And I'll show you a mince as well. For a chop, Often, this is a small onion, but often you would go cut through the center here and then go through the top. Because it's so small, I'm not going to cut through the center, and we're also doing a chop. If I were doing a dice or a mince, which I'll show you in a second, then I would be more likely to cut through the center. But for a chop, you're going to cut, and again, follow the arch like you're cutting towards the center, but you're leaving big chunks. Let me fan these out, see if you can see. Like these are pretty big, far apart slices. And then you're going to go this way. And when you get to this end, this is a little precarious, so you turn it on its side to get it as secure as you can and cut that. And then you have your chop. They're a little bigger chunks than when you are dicing. And even though this is small, because I'm doing a dice, I'm going to cut across the center here. And then I'm going to make cuts like I did with the chop, but they're going to be closer together. And they are still going to follow the curve of the onion. And then the same thing goes with the slices in this direction. You're going to make them smaller than you did with the chop. So, and again, when you get to this end that gets a little precarious standing up here, you're just going to lay that flat so that it's secure and then cut them. Now for a mince, you're going to just take what you've just diced. You could even do it from a chop. And you're just going to put your hand on the top of the tip of the blade to hold it in place and keep it secure. You're going to keep your hand wrapped around the handle and your thumb up against the top here. You don't want your finger sticking out like this. That doesn't give you much stability. And you're just going to rock back and forth until you get to the desired size of the mince that you want. So then scoop them all together and do it again and watch them fly. That is one hazard of mincing, is sometimes they will fly around. But you're just going to rock back and forth until you get fine, fine, fine little pieces. And that looks pretty good. You can see there a lot of tiny, tiny little pieces ready for whatever you need a minced onion for. Now, one other thing you can do with an onion that I'm not going to demonstrate. Some recipes will have you grate the onion, and a lot of times that will be like for a meatloaf or things like that, where you can incorporate all the flavor of the onion without getting chunks of onion in the meatloaf, especially if you're trying to hide the onions from somebody who is not a fan. But that is what I have to show you today, how to slice, chop, dice, and mince an onion. So if you liked this video, if you learned something, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also comment down below if you learned anything new, if this was interesting to you, if I should keep doing things like this. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for any time that I do upload a video. And also feel free to join me on social media. I am over on Instagram, and I'll leave my handle down below. And also the two Facebook groups that I am a part of. One is mine alone, which is Recipes with Roy. And the other one, I share the co-admin duties with Jennifer Lynn from the Jennifer Lynn channel and Bree Coleman from Balancing Life with Bree. We have Finding Our Way, and I will leave the icon here so you know you've landed on the right spot. because we spell Weigh, W-E-I-G-H. So that is all I have for you today. And until next time, bye.